Chapter 15. Sharpening the Edge. It's good to see you, lad. Forrest walks over and grabs hold of Aries' hand and pats his back with his other. Brother. Aries tightens his grip on Forrest's hand. All at once, the men stationed on their horses dismount and then form a circle around me. I wish I had come under better circumstances. Aries' voice changes dramatically. But I swore an oath. One of the knights grabs hold of my right arm and begins pulling me toward their horses. What are you doing? Valoria screams. Let go of him! She tries to run after me, but the other men hold her back. Forrest! Valoria cries. Do something! What's the meaning of this, Aries? Forrest is still as a stone. You know that we uphold justice, no matter the cost. Aries points over at me. That kid has left a trail of destruction everywhere he sets foot. A thriving village reduced to nothing more than ash and ruin. Next, a man's brother lay dead in the streets and the people left in an uproar. Then, I come to find out the one who killed him, identified by the dagger left in his rib cage by the whitesmith who encrusted it. This kid that you blindly protect, Forrest. You got it all wrong, Aries. The kid hasn't done anything wrong. You were a brother to me, Forrest. But I cannot watch as you follow this kid into your own demise any longer. Forgive me, but your judgment is clouded by grief. Everyone who lives here is staring down at me like I'm evil now. Valoria is still trying to fight off the knights with her bare hands, and Tsukiyami stands with a blank face, watching. Forrest lets go of Aries' hand and shoves him away. He snarls like a bear and glares at Aries. I've never seen this amount of white in his eyes before. I never could have imagined him as terrifying as he looks now. Before it's too late, I reach my right hand across my body and twist off my leather arm, then toss it towards Forrest. Of all the people in this world, I never would have expected this from you, Aries. Forrest growls. You're the one who's blind. You backstabbing poor excuse of a man. No brother of mine. Forrest spits just in front of Aries' boots. Men, tie him up. Let's ride. Aries commands without turning, away from Forrest. The man gripping my arm knocks me to the ground and ties my feet together tightly with rope. It digs into the cuts from kicking through the wall and stings horribly. Ah! I grimace in pain. My leg! Sir, his leg is wounded, and he only has one arm. Will you cooperate? Aries asks sternly. We will leave you unbound if you agree to come with us. I turn my head to look back at everyone writhing in pain and anger on my behalf. A tear rolls down my face. Yes. Fine. Mount up. The man unties me and helps me to my feet. We walk over to his horse and he gives me a boost onto it, then positions himself in front of me. I look back one last time at Valoria and Forrest. Tsukiyami is holding her back now as the other knights return to their horses. Forrest hasn't broken eye contact with Ares this entire time, until Ares turns away himself and mounts his steed. And then, with one final command, we disappear into the trees. I'm bouncing all over the place with every step. I've never been on a horse before. Sit up straight and hold on, the harbor knight yells back at me. You're gonna have a long ride if you don't. I do as he says. I straighten up my back and grab hold of his chest plate. I immediately notice a difference. It's not so bumpy anymore, and I don't feel entirely terrified now. This still doesn't change the fact that I'm being escorted back to the desert as a prisoner. I wonder how they found us. It didn't take very long before they showed up either. Only a single night passed. Have they been following us this entire time? Most importantly, though, what's going to happen to me now? I can already hear the river running rampant. We're really this far along? We should have taken horses when we left Alba. Maybe our trip wouldn't have gone so far off course. It definitely wouldn't have taken as long, that's for sure. There's no sense in dwelling on it now. It seems like the harder that I fight against my fate, the outcome worsens. So I might as well accept what's coming and stop running away. It will only hurt more people if I don't. You've been on quite the adventure since we last met. Ares rides alongside us now. Do you remember me? Yes, I scowl. How did you find us? I am not your enemy, though it may seem so. I'm merely delivering you to the fate that you've been given. You understand, don't you? Ares looks away. My true intent was finding where Vorus had run off to after the disaster in Alba. At the time, I had already set out on my travels. I caught wind of the travesty only a few days into my journey and made haste to return, only to find the village I once knew, mostly in ruins, and no sight of my master blacksmith. He sighs deeply and continues. Someone saw you three heading into the forest and pointed the way, and then we followed your trail from there. Forest's huge footprints, the grave by the sapling, a commotion at the river, and finally a bear's rotting corpse. All that led to where you killed a man in cold blood. That's not what happened, I blurted out aggressively. No? He attacked me. He was gonna go after Valoria next. Valoria. Pretty name, Ares interrupts me. She's the one who gave the directions to the village away. What is he talking about? How could she have done that? I don't believe you. Oh, really? Ares chuckles. I guess I deserve that. She pointed out that stone you camped at to a painter who claimed to have reunited the three of you. Hanji. Ah, so you know him. He and his brothers are very kind people. They seemed rather disappointed in what you did. The monk especially. He praised you greatly, swore to me you had no such hate in your heart. We passed by our old camp spot near the seer's stone and turned to follow the river. Even Vorus is drawn to you in the same way. It was actually a relief to see him so attached to someone. As I'm sure you know by now, since his wife Celia passed away. Forrest has kept to himself mostly. You knew her? I'm shocked. Forrest and I have known one another since we were children. His father was my father's master blacksmith. While they would drink and my father told tales of adventure, Forrest and I would sneak off and plan adventures of our own one day. We passed through the last few trees and trod along the hard sandstone. We're nearly to the desert. Alas, bound by duty, we parted ways. I set forth to claim a name for myself and uphold justice by any means necessary. Forrest married and took over his father's shop when the day came. Yet, throughout all my travels, I had never met a finer blacksmith than he. That's why I've always tracked him down, wherever he may be. I mean, what good is a knight without the finest equipment? Why are you telling me this? Ares smiles at me and shakes the hair out of his face. I would have thought you to be curious. Also, I do not enjoy being looked at as if I'm villainous. I roll my eyes away from him. Betraying my brother was the hardest thing I have ever done. Smith, do not mistake my actions. Ares pulls away and returns to the head of the pack. The ground turns to sand beneath us as we veer closer to the river crossing. We're almost to the village. I'm confused by Ares. He claims to be this heroic figure only doing what's right. So why is he doing all of this to us? If he really cared about Forrest, he would have heard him out before they escorted me off. One at a time, we cross the river and climb the sand dune. There it is, the village I thought I would never return to. It looks small from this distance. Without any hesitation, we speed our way across the empty sands. My stomach is in knots. With every step toward the edge of the village, I panic more and more. Am I even going to get a chance to explain myself? Or did I already ruin that by running away from the whole situation? Are they going to kill me? I take a deep breath in as we pass the first set of buildings leading into the village. Whoa, easy. One of the knights struggles to slow his horse down. Easy, girl. Now that we're here, everyone reduces their speed to a walk, and we all fall in a straight line. People begin flooding out of their homes, lining the street side, gawking as we pass by. Men stop what they are doing to come and point from afar. Children gather around their parents, bouncing to try and see more. I had no idea how many people actually lived here. Seeing them all at once like this is no village. It's an empire. Every person that I make eye contact with scrunches their face in disgust at me. Some are cheering, others whisper amongst themselves, but not a single person looks away. I wonder if they have any idea who Krokov actually is. Would they still be celebrating if they did? I looked at both sides of the horse. There's not even a smidge of space between any of the countless bodies crowding around us. We're nearly to the gate of the castle now. I look out ahead of us and notice Emperor Akbar awaiting our arrival. He's surrounded by armed guards. There's no chance this will end well. It seems like everyone has already made their minds up about me.
They asked so many questions when I first arrived here, but it would seem the time for that is over. I swallow the saliva building in my mouth and lower my gaze back to the sea of people. My eyes land on someone burning a hole through me with his glare. Our eyes lock. Is that? Hold up! Ares yells out from the front, and all the horses come to a halt suddenly. The fast stop catches me off guard and sends my head into the back of the knight's armor in front of me. I shake my head twice, then look back into the crowd of people searching for the man I thought I saw. But he's gone, washed away into waves of judgmental gazes. That, or maybe I was mistaken. One by one, the knights dismount their horses. The last one is the man I'm with. Hop down. He holds out his hand. Come on. I swing my leg over and grab hold of the knight, then drop gently to the ground. He immediately grabs hold of my right arm and starts dragging me with him through the castle gate. There are massive stone doors extending in toward the castle, followed by a long and wide staircase. Each individual step is chiseled in patterns and encrusted with gems. It takes almost 10 paces to reach the next step up every time, until eventually I'm forced to stop in place. Such a shame, Smith. Emperor Akbar shakes his head. I welcomed you into my empire with open arms, and now a man lay dead by your hand within my walls. This will not go unpunished. Emperor Akbar turns his back on me and heads for his castle. To the cells with him, he calls out, and the knight pushes me toward a solid metal door. There's an armed guard standing in front of the metal door. It's one of Akbar's men. The knight who's been pushing me around shoves me over to him, and without a second to react, the guard grabs me even tighter than the knight. He slides a key into the metal door and opens it. It's pitch black with a staircase going straight down. I can't even see the bottom. He nudges me into the entrance and closes the door behind us. I step slowly and carefully, trying not to fall. Move it! The guard forces me to speed up. I can't see a thing. My eyes haven't adjusted yet. With every step I take, I worry I might trip and fall down these endless stairs. The guard shoves me again. I try to move faster. What's the big rush? Got a door to stand in front of? I extend my leg out to take another step down and slam my foot into the ground earlier than I expected. That was the last stair, apparently. Ow. Quit whining. The guard kicks my back and I fall to the stone floor. Stay there. I look around from the ground. There's a single lantern hanging from the middle of the ceiling and cage doors lining the far wall. 4 separate cells from what I can see. The guard stands in front of one, jingling keys around and cursing under his breath. Is this really where they're putting me? The metal gate clicks and the door squeaks open. Get in. I pick my head up from the ground and make eye contact with the guard. For a brief instant, I see a flash of sympathy in his eyes. I try to lift myself to my feet, but I'm too weak. My stomach's completely empty. The guard looks away and clenches his teeth together. I try again, but give up quickly and let out a deep breath. Come on. The guard has his hand extended out to me. I grab hold, and he slides me along the floor into the cell. I'll be back with something to eat. You're starved. The cell door slammed shut.